Well, good morning and welcome to our webinar on Sports Incentivization Grant for 2024. My name is Mike Moe, and I'm the Director of Tourism Development and Strategic Planning for State of Washington Tourism. And today we're going to provide an overview of this grant designed to help Washington communities attract sports tournaments or competitions that will bring overnight visitors to a destination to spur economic activity. First, I want to give credit to the Washington State Department of Commerce, who awarded SWT with $3.5 million of destination planning and development money. This program provides funding for this grant and all of our grants in 2024 and 2025. So a big thank you for that vote of confidence from Commerce for SWT. So first on the agenda here, I'm going to provide an overview of the grant, and then I'll turn it over to our Destination Development Coordinator, Tamara, who will show you how to apply on our new grant management platform. And then when Tamara is finished, I'll actually give you a little overview of our budget document, and we should have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. And probably we can do Q&A kind of throughout. Please make sure to use the Q&A button that you see down on the left or at the bottom of your screen there. If you have any questions, I'll also keep an eye on the chat. Just also know that this webinar is being recorded, and I will be sending a link out to you all so you can review it later at your own leisure along with the slide deck. So please keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and get started with the program overview. This grant is very specific. It is designed to help nonprofit entities to attract biddable sports tournaments or competitions that will bring overnight visitors to a destination to spur economic activity. Now, what I mean by biddable is that it's an event that takes place at different locations each time. So a couple of examples of winning bids from last year was an Ironman competition in Tri-Cities, or a West Coast All-Star baseball game that went to Bellingham. We even funded the National Beard and Mustache competition in Snohomish County. So that's the kind of thing. This particular grant is not intended for like a fun run or an event that you create yourself for your community. Not that we have anything against fun runs or those kinds of events, and those can be eligible for some of our other grants. But this grant is in line with what other states do, and it's designed to help our sports commissions and sports-related nonprofits compete for those kinds of events. Applicants must be a Washington-based organization, such as a local government like a city or a county, a tribal organization, a chamber, a destination organization, a sports commission, or some other nonprofit that supports travel and tourism and sports. The events also should ensure at least 50 athletes and coaches coming for over at least 2 days. Single day events will be considered if a majority of the athletes are coming from 50 miles away. Here are some of the key program dates. Now, please note that these dollars, they come from the Department of Commerce, from the federal government. And we can only invoice Commerce after we have contracts in place with our grantees. And then we can only fund the grants once we receive that money from Commerce. So there's some approximate dates on this. That's because the money needs to wind down through the Commerce machinery, then through us, and then out to you. But we will definitely try to get it out as soon as possible. And we've been pretty good in our previous grants on staying on schedule. Also notice July 1st. That is an important date because that is a deadline to sign a contract with the event or tournament organizer. And I'll go more in detail here in a second. Up to $30,000 will be awarded for each grant. Matching funds are encouraged, but not necessarily required. And we have a total of $180,000 total for this program. So successful applicants will be only able to reserve dollars from a pool to help pay down room nights, provide amenities, pending the successful bid. So if you are bidding on an event and you're ultimately unsuccessful, those dollars will go back into the pool and be available to other applicants who maybe weren't selected originally, but they'll have a ranked wait list. So that we would let those applicants know. So you need to have the bid or a contract in place by July 1st, 2025 to access these dollars. One other thing, if you apply for this grant, you are not precluded from applying to any of our other grants. You can always apply for more than one. And then it's not in our grant criteria, but we do love to see collaboration with our other stakeholders, or your other stakeholders, including DMOs, chambers, tribes, local government, and the like. Here is a list of eligible expenses. I'll give you a moment to look at this list, but it's things like travel and lodging, fees for officials, site and venue rental usages, that sort of thing. One thing I want to note is that you can already have a contract with an event, but you can't have already selected your vendor. And this is a federal rule. These are not these. None of these rules are our rules. These all come from the feds. I know some of them kind of seem arbitrary, but if you are, if you say you're renting a facility, you have to go through the RFP process to make sure that you're in compliance, and that has to happen after we give you the money. You can't do it before. And again, that's it's a federal rule. But all of these things are eligible. Here's some things that are ineligible. Um, for example, any kind of marketing for your event, we found that out recently that that is not allowed. Again, federal rules. This presentation will be sent out to you later on. I will give you all these slides, so you don't have to take pictures or you'll be scribbling it down. We'll send this out to you. But I just want to make sure you had a chance to just kind of see what's eligible and ineligible. You can also find this list on our website. I'm sure Tamara can put that web page in the chat so you guys can see where you can access it at any time. So I mentioned this before. This money is federal money, and it is federal. There are more stringent rules on this money than a few years ago when we had our own money to give out. So first of all, when you're using federal grant dollars, they're federal grant dollars all the way from the feds through commerce through us to you until whatever business or subcontractor you use. So the rules do not change. First of all, any contractor you use, they'll need a UEI number. You and your contractor will need a UEI number, which you can acquire for free at sam.gov. A link will be provided on your application, and this takes a little while to go through if you don't have one. So don't waste time. Go ahead and do that now if you're planning to apply for this grant.
Mike,
Yep.
excuse me, the contractor that they use, they do not need to have a UEI. They need to have
I
a,
keep messing up with the
that's
the
okay. They
acronym.
need to
So
have
you're
a
right. Thank you,
UBA or
Tamara.
UBI and EIN.
UBI number, that's the Washington one, the UEI. Yes, sorry. You need to have a UEI. Your contractor needs to only have a UBI and an EIN number. Thank you, Tamara. She's the real expert here. And then contractors, like I mentioned before, they must be billed on a reimbursement basis. So they need to do the work and then you need to pay them and then get a receipt and then have that receipt. Every dollar that's spent needs to match up with a receipt. I'll show you, we'll have a budget template for you to fill out before you get the grant. And then when you get the grant, you'll have a spreadsheet to kind of keep track of your expenses. Also, dollars cannot be used for staff salaries. Here is the grant criteria. So your application will be reviewed by our grant review committee, and they'll score it based on this criteria. Focus strategy for events, 30%. Size and economic impact on the destination and community, it's 25. Your statement of need, like why does your destination need this money to attract this event, 25%. Your commitment to safety, security, accessibility, inclusion for all participants and visitors, 10%. Any kind of match funding that you have available that you can show, that's 5%. And then your ability to execute the project and comply with reporting requirements is 5%. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing here. And I'm going to turn it over to Tamara, who's going to walk you all through the application portal and show you how to apply. And then I'll be back soon.
Hi there, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you all could join us here. So first, I'll let you know where to find the application link. You'll find it at the SWT's grant landing page for this grant, and it will be available on November 15th. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Right one for you. Okay. So I know I see a lot of familiar names here. So a lot of you have gone through this before, but I'm going to gear this towards folks that maybe haven't seen the Wise Hive platform before. So the first thing you'll see when you click on the apply link from our grant landing page is this program info page. But I'm going to show you how to actually set up your new user account. If you already have an account, you'll go ahead and go to that I already have an account link and enter that information. So for new users though, you'll enter your information and the email that you list here, you'll actually receive a 6-digit passcode to that email and you'll enter that after you click create account. And so we're back to the program info page here. The program info page has a lot of the same information that Mike just went over. It has the application process and timeline. The eligible and ineligible expense list is here and a link to that. Stipulations for working with contractors. Please familiarize yourself with this. There's the important links here, including the OFM reimbursement rates link. Reporting and oversight requirements so that you know what you're getting into there. And also we'll have the FAQ link here for this grant and the FAQ link for the application portal information. We'll include the recorded info session here, and here's my contact information. So when you click on apply, you will be setting up creating your new organization. So I know this is a little confusing, but what we want you to do is create your new organization using this button right above the back button. Please don't use the create using GuideStar button. I'm sorry, we cannot remove that at this point, but you'll click on create new organization, and I already have one created, so we'll click on that. And this is the information that we'll be gathering. So your organization's legal name, your EIN number, your UEI number. And again, remember, it needs to be an active registered UEI number. Here's the link to go to if you're not sure if it's registered or if you don't have a UEI yet. Go ahead and go to this as soon as possible. If you do already have a registered UEI number, make sure it's not expired and get that confirmation because you'll need to upload that. Here's the space for your UBI number and your organization's mailing address, primary contact. We would like to receive other contact information here, but if you don't have that, please enter NA in the first 2 fields as they're required. Do you work with a DMO? If so, please enter that information here and you'll save your profile and continue. And then we go to the eligibility check. So we have 2 questions here. Does your organization reside in Washington? That is a requirement. I'm going to click yes. And are you a for-profit business? So for-profit businesses are not eligible to apply for these grants. So I'm going to click no and check my eligibility, and I'm ready to apply. So right up here at the top of the application, you'll see these 3 little profiles. You can click on that and you can add collaborators here if you have somebody that you want to have help you with this application and get a second set of eyes on it or more. And we'll go ahead and start with the project information. So we'll need your project title, a description of the sporting event, grant amount requested. The grant maximum for these grants is $30,000. Are you open to partial funding? The estimated cost of your project and your estimated project ROI. Anticipated date that the event contract will be completed and signed, and also to select the region or regions that the event will be in. My screen's not going down further. Sorry. Bear with me here. Well, plan B here. Okay. So this is actually a test application here. It's not going to be exactly how you would see it. We'll move on into the application questions here. And so these questions have the weighted percentage here for each question. This one here is 30%, and there's an 800 word maximum. And there's several other questions here. And we'll go to the supporting documents. So with the supporting documents, you'll need to upload your EIN determination letter to prove status as a tax exempt entity. If you need more information on that, here's the contact information with the IRS. You'll need to submit your active registered UEI confirmation. Also, here's the sam.gov link again. Your UBI, Washington Business License confirmation, and here's the link to that. We'll need your current signed and dated W-9 form. Please remember to sign and date it. We're receiving several that aren't signed and dated at all. And also, there's a spot to upload the grant application budget template or a budget for your project. Please use this template that we're providing. It makes it a lot easier for our review committee. We'll need your organization's annual budget information, annual marketing budget information, and these are just rounded numbers. Legislative district or district numbers can go here. Your event RFP or event information. And there's a spot for optional documents. So if you're entering or uploading a draft quote request, remember to only express intention that you're seeking contract work from a third party without naming that vendor. When describing your work, applicants should specify deliverables and the desired qualifications of the vendors only. And here's a spot for your description of your organization, and we'd like you to include your URL for your website there. And letters of recommendation are not required, but there's a spot for 3 references and a spot to upload 3 letters of recommendation. And finally, we're at the agreement and signature part. This is not a contract. If you are a successful applicant, you'll receive an award contract to sign. This is actually just agreeing that you understand the criteria for this program and that you're submitting it with integrity and accuracy. We'll go back to application home. And up here, you will see when you're actually applying on a live application, a spot to review, to click a review button. You'll want to make sure that you review it, get an extra set of eyes on this application if you can before submitting, because once you submit, you're not able to edit it. So, and then you click on apply. And if there's some spots here that you've missed, it won't allow you to submit it. And there'll be a red bar where you can go back in and edit it. So I will go ahead and technical difficulties here, stop sharing. And you'll also receive an email from WiseHive as a confirmation. So remember, if you have any questions with the WiseHive application, please contact me. I can help you through it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamara. And then one more thing here. I'm going to share my screen and show you our budget template, just so you can see what we're talking about. It's a very simple spreadsheet. And all you're doing is just telling us what kind of activity you want to do. This is obviously for a photo shoot, but if you're renting a facility, you would put that here. If you're getting referees, and again, you just do the description of what it is. You're not saying, we have already contracted with so and so, or we're going to use this specific business. You want to make sure that you don't do that, because would disqualify for that money. And this is something, this spreadsheet is very important for the review committee. We definitely look at this and make sure that everything is qualified for your event. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now I see that there are some questions, or a question. So is November 15th the cutoff for applications? That's when it starts, right, Tamara?
Yes, it starts November 15th and the cutoff is December 15th.
December 15th, yeah, November 15th through December 15th. So it's not even open yet. The application period opens November 15th. If you are planning an event prior to July 1st, is that event eligible for a grant? Yes, it is. That would be even more ideal. July 1st is the last day that you need to provide us with a contract or um, proof that the event's coming to your destination. Okay, any other questions? I know this is a small group. I should have done this as a meeting. But if you, and I know many of you kind of done this already. I know Tammy, you've done this before. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to Tamara or myself. And we will put our emails. Tamara, on putting our emails in the chat, and again, I will be sending you all a follow-up email with a link to the recording of this presentation, and then also I'll give you my slide deck, and you already have the links to our grant program webpage. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your interest in our grant, and we can't wait to see what you all do with the money. Um, Very exciting. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day.